Hey everyone, Golden Ninja 3000 here again. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to connect your 2021 Hogwarts sections. These are 4 different sets. We've got the Hogwarts Great Hall at the back, that's $130. A Fluffy Encounter on the right for $40. The little one there is the Polyjuice Potion Mistake set for $20. And then the new edition, the reason that I'm making another video, is the First Flying Lesson on the left for $30. So I made a video earlier this summer showing some possible combinations, but today I want to explore a little bit more now that we have those extra sections from the new set. Here are all of the different modules we can play around with. I've separated out the Great Hall ones at the back because they are larger, and then those 2 behind the roof sections are 4x10, which don't fit with the other modules because most of this system works in an 8x8 or 8x16 space. You have 4 8x16 modules at the back. You have 5 8x8 modules closer to the front. We have 3 8x8 like flat crenellated roof sections. Then we have 1 8x16 roof section, and then we have 2 8x8 turret roof sections. So here's the first configuration I'm trying out. And honestly, I really like this one. I'm tempted to just keep it like this. I've tried to keep the play features intact on the interior. I've tried to get a lot of height out of it. And I think that this looks great. Just having those 2 extra 8x8 modules really increases the possibility of what you can do with like these sets, because I think that this already looks miles better than anything I was making when I tried doing this in June. You are left with 2 roof modules, which you can see slightly down there in the corner. You've got like one of those small crenellated 8x8 ones and then the 8x16 one. So I'm going to show you guys the interior of this, but then I do want to mess around just a little bit with this kind of like main configuration with like the Great Hall tower in the middle and then kind of like falling down towards the side, and then we'll try some drastically different stuff. My reasons for liking the interior are quite simple. It's just that all of the play features are where they should be. I'm not really going to mess with the Great Hall section because, you know, like the only thing you can rearrange are the roof pieces, but they don't look good if you take them out of that order. So that section is always going to stay the same. It's always going to have the Chamber of Secrets to the left of it. And I did put the other 4x10 module to the left as well because I actually just really like that look. I think that that does not look bad down there, even though it's on like the cliff level. But as for the interior, since that's what we're looking at here, I really like how all of the play features remain intact. So I'm going to try to gently move the camera closer and not be too shaky about it. But we've still got the Forbidden Corridor with Fluffy, the trap door, and then that leads to the Devil's Snare. And you do have a storeroom next to it. Then up above, we have the harp and the trophy room. These sections, the interior actually looks fantastic together. I love the way that those look. And then up top, we just have like that little potions classroom and that area with the knight on the roof. Then to the left, or sorry, to the right of it, we have what I think is the most important interior function to preserve, the Chamber of Secrets bathroom opening onto the slide. That is a function that I'm going to do my best to keep intact. I might switch this around, but honestly, when I display this, whatever form I display it in, I want those play features to be intact on the inside. So I might not, you know, switch them around in this video. I don't know. I haven't really decided what other configurations I'm going to try. Then we've got Lockhart's classroom, of course, his office above it, and then we do have the astronomy classroom above that. Here's a similar layout, but this time I've added the 8x16 roof module, and then I've kind of just made a smaller tower off to the right. This makes the Hogwarts First Flying Lesson parts all be on the same floor, or sorry, same level. I don't love that though, because then that means that the trophy room is on ground level, which just feels wrong to me. And it does split up Hermione. I mean, well, Hermione's still right next to the Devil's Snare room, so that, or sorry, to Fluffy, so that doesn't really matter too much. But I don't know, I kind of liked having more height, like right next to the main tower. I don't love now that it's the only thing in the middle with like these 2 like very flat kind of sloping roof sections in front. I thought I would like this setup a little bit better than I actually do. And we do have 2 8x8 roof sections left over, both from the Hogwarts First Flying Lesson set. Okay, my next configuration does follow a similar style, so I think you guys can tell what I like. I really like the center being tall and then, you know, going down towards the right in height. I did try to switch it up though. I put the Hermione section with the harp from the Fluffy set in the middle this time instead of Lockhart's office. I moved that stuff to the right, and I switched the roofs on them because what I learned with this configuration is that the roof on Lockhart's office with the turret off to the side it's very difficult to put that next to anything else, because I wanted that next to this Hogwarts First Flying Lesson section with the knight statue on top, but I couldn't put it there because that turret was sticking out past the 8x8 and it would have interfered. So that was interesting. I'm still left with an 8x8 and an 8x16 roof. So you're always going to have leftover roofs unless you make this thing really long. And honestly, maybe I should try that next, but I'm going to tell you guys like right off the bat, I'm not super adventurous with my combinations, honestly. I like what I like, and you know, I'm never really gonna like that rocky cliff, the 8x8 rock cliff. I could easily pull it up higher into the castle, but I just know I don't like it, so I'm not going to. So yeah, I might not show you guys everything you want, but I'm just hoping that, you know, you guys get some kind of ideas from this. And now you'll notice that the interior is kind of messed up because we've got like an inaccessible astronomy classroom all the way up in the turret. You've got a trapdoor that leads to a bathroom that has like another trapdoor in it. So now it's just like, now if Harry goes through that fluffy trapdoor, he could just end up falling throughout the entire castle until he reaches the chamber. There's nothing leading to the Devil's Snare room now, although it is still next to that storeroom. So yeah, I don't love this. Lockhart's office is also right next to the trophy room now. I feel like that's kind of weird. So yeah, I'm definitely not liking the interior as much here. All right, this is what I'm gonna call long Hogwarts. It's long. I used all of the roof sections and I'm kind of okay with how it turned out. There are parts that I like more than others. The fluffy-like section with the roof actually blends very well into the Great Hall. The one thing I'd say is I just wish that those like stepped pieces had the dark tan plates that the Great Hall has as well to just make it consistent, because I did feel like those were a little bit unfinished in the set. I've got Lockhart's office still above his classroom. I just think it looks the best, you know, with the same style of windows. But I added the turret that I usually put over the Hermione section where she's with the harp. I added that directly next to it. That doesn't look terrible, although I still think it would look better a little bit distanced from that turret, just because it feels like it doesn't really have time to rise, you know? It feels like it's just coming out of the roof weirdly. The one thing that I really don't like about this, though, the bathroom is on the ground level, which is, again, okay, because that section of the castle is very plain compared to the rest. But it does mean that the sink no longer leads to the chamber, which is something that you guys know is pretty important to me, although Fluffy is still over the Devil's Snare. And then also the entire Hogwarts First Flying Lesson set is just off to the right. It's not really doing anything. And honestly, the First Flying Lesson set is a little bit of an issue for me. I don't love the way it's laid out. I wish that the middle module, the like 4x10, I wish that that was an 8x8. It would just make so much more sense. The Chamber of Secrets one as well, it really annoyed me in that set that it was 4x10 instead of an 8x8. But at least that I understood, because you need to have space for like that door to open, whereas there's no reason for this one to be like out of the system. I also think that I always end up with too many roofs, and I blame the First Flying Lesson set. It's a really good set on its own, but once you plug it into the rest of Hogwarts, I feel like while the modules can be really helpful, they can also be kind of a hindrance at points. Here's the new interior. I definitely do not like it. I feel like even, you know, areas like Lockhart's office look super awkward being right next to the turret now. Like the harp being right next to his classroom, then the potions bathroom on the same floor as like the trophy room, and then, but like the Chamber of Secrets is right next to it. Yeah, I don't really think that the interior works here at all. And again, the First Flying Lesson set just looks super tacked on. It looks like it should be a separate area of the castle, like set away from everything else. And here's one slight rearrangement to just kind of break up that First Flying Lesson set. This looks pretty decent to me. All right, here's my final combination. I basically just took the layout that I liked from that earlier one where all the play features are intact, and then I messed around with it to make it look a little bit better. So I'm really happy with how this ends up. The only part that I'm kind of apprehensive about this is, first of all, I feel like the statue being up so high is kind of weird. And then also the banners, the Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw banners, I think look a little bit odd being so high up on that castle when all of like the windows like that below them are unmarked. The interior here is pretty awesome. Like I said, all of those play features are intact. The storeroom is next to the dungeons, which I think is okay. Lockhart's classroom is right next to the trophy room. I think that's also fine. And then you got like the harp section on the other side, and then his office is like isolated enough. So I'm pretty happy with how this all worked out. There are, of course, things that I would change. I wish that we had more options, but I'm very impressed by how just the addition of those two 8x8 modules from the first flying lesson set lets you do so much more than you could with just like the modules that were already there. I don't think it's a case of me not playing around with it enough in June. I think I really did try, even though that was kind of a rushed video. But this setup is just so much nicer. And again, it's just a $30 set with 3 extra modules technically, because even having a door to the left, I do think that's kind of nice. I wish that it could be integrated better so I could build stuff on top of it, but I do like having a door on the ground level there. So that's it for today. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and check out my website, goldenninja3000.com, and I'll see you guys with more videos soon. Bye for now.